Welcome to Conscious Living here at the Specially Produce Network. We are so glad you're here to support your lifestyle with the fastest growing resource for conscious families. So sit back, relax, connect, and enjoy. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to Conscious Living. We're here live in San Diego, and simultaneously, we're live in Barcelona, Spain. Welcome, Kate, the heARTist. I'm so glad you're here today.
Ashley, I'm so excited to be here as well. And I'm so excited, as I normally reside in Houston, Texas, to be podcasting with you from Barcelona, as you said. And I'd like to just take a second and invite everybody to join me in this beautiful space of where I've enjoyed the last few days. This is from my bedroom window. Are you seeing me or are you seeing the street?
It's beautiful.
Do you see the street?
We see the street.
Excellent.
No?
This is from my bedroom window. And I have just been enjoying this as I have come back from what prompted me to come to Spain. I was invited with Paul Luftenegger to come be a part of something that last year, before I had even met Paul on April 30th, to set the intention to be at the European Education, the Conscious Educators Leadership Conference. And then I did it this year. The power of living intentionally is truly an art form that is a way of manifesting all of your dreams, setting the intention, then living with inspired daily action, and feeling them all come true. Feeling them being true before they are in your physical world is an art form as well. I shared with you that I wanted to call this podcast The Art of Living Your Life in Love, because that is where I'm playing right now in my own life. I am truly living a life from the heart center and attracting into my space other beings that are doing that. And one piece of heart at a time, we are creating a world that is utopic. And that's so funny because I'm the creator of this cartoon world called Utopia
You
that has
sure
set me.
are. We love Utopia. In this idea of Utopia, will you share with us a little bit about what Utopia means to you?
Utopia means choosing to live your life over love over fear. Each time fear rears its head. And then living compassionately and harmoniously with nature and one another.
That surely
Actually,
is the art of living.
it is an art of living. And what I'm finding here in my week in Barcelona, after spending a week with conscious leaders that are from all over Europe, and me being from America, there were three other Americans, two now that were living in France, Patricia and Andrea. And they both are living boldly. In fact, Patricia is an author that moved here from Virginia and moved here. She moved to France. She had written a couple books, Living Courageously, Living Boldly, and she embodies her own work, not knowing what tomorrow will bring, but taking it one step at a time in the piece that she can see. And she followed her heart to move to Europe and followed her heart to this small little village in southwest France, which is where she's now living. And Andrea Pennington ended up being a very significant person for me to connect with. She and I will be collaborating. She is someone that I had set an intention to attract into my space because her divine life, living in the space of creating media solutions and getting people's stories told, is how she has spent her life. She began her life as a medical doctor. I'm going to shut this door because there's a lot of fun motorists out there on their loud motorcycles, and they're just expressing themselves, but we don't want to have that distraction right
You're
now.
exactly right. And, talking about the art of living and choosing what space you live in, love versus fear or love other than fear, is such an amazing thing because how we do attract what comes to us depending upon what state we're in. So if we're in fear, a lot of times we can attract those things that create more fear.
We can, and that's such a great example of what just happened in my life 20 minutes before this podcast was to have begun. So Cindy and I, who are traveling together, we're friends from home. I had made the reservations, and I made an error when I made the reservations. I booked our hotel that we're moving to for May 3rd, and I cut it a day short. We were supposed to be out of here today, but I didn't realize that. I had thought I had set the reservation until tomorrow. It took us into a bit of a tailspin because now we found ourselves without a place to stay. No worries, we were going to figure it out. But our host, because we have been so loving and had a wonderful exchange with Bruce, our host, he said to us, he said, Kate and Cindy, oh my gosh, stay as my guests tonight. You can come into my home. Don't worry. This is the way that we have been experiencing so many different experiences. I think not going into a state of panic, but being respectful of the things that where we made the error and owning that. Not saying, "Oh my God, you know, you made an error in our reservation." No, I made the error. He met us with compassion and an amazing blessing. We're
Right.
staying in tonight, right? And we're going to have fun. We're going to go to dinner and enjoy time together. You know, there's a couple other things that I just want to share the art of living. While I've been in Barcelona, I have met so many people who are overcoming their fears, and these are all the stories to share and tell. On my wrist, I'm wearing the energy and creation of a beautiful young fashion designer from Romania. Her name is Alexa. She's 31 years old. She's made this yellow bracelet. I'm embodying the art of living in love over fear by
Literally.
wearing Alexa. Literally.
Yeah.
Alexa is a 31-year-old fashion designer from Romania who decided to move to Barcelona on a whim. And now she has a beautiful boutique 1 year later after understanding and learning the culture in the most artsy district, Elborn, in the old part of the city. Incredible.
So you're literally living the art of your friend that you met from Romania.
Yes. And this piece also found this week on the streets of Barcelona by fashion designer Maria, who is from Macedonia, who also moved to Barcelona a year and a half ago. And we had wonderful connection with her inside of her store within just a few moments that had me and Cindy sitting over cocktails and conversation and Paul Leftenegger's album Seeds of Peace hours later, where
Wow.
now we're going into collaboration, and she's going to be helping develop a bit of the Kate the Heartist line of clothing that I've been envisioning, but I'm not someone that sews. But I met someone on the streets of Barcelona that's as funky as me in her own unique way, that can understand me and can start taking some of the designs that I have. Right. And I met her here.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's so fun. This
So
is
you're
phenomenal.
you're living the art that you choose to be.
By celebrating other people's art and energy. And it gives them the resource of money to be their lifestyle. When we support the arts, we're supporting the artist. And
Right.
we're saying that your work is appreciated and worth something that is a value that can help you get the things that you need on. And it's this beautiful exchange of the hearts, right? With the art being inside the word.
Exactly.
And I found both of them in a traditional store. I found Mateo a little bit differently. He's a young man with dreadlocks and a funky style and a distinct smell as well. Because Mateo's choosing to travel through Europe just by making bracelets and finding ways to live his joyful life, skating and being free. And he made this band that he had in front of him as he was sewing the next ones. And we had a very heartfelt connection for a few moments that made me feel very much alive and made me celebrate the fact that he believes in himself enough to take the chance to just go live his life traveling on his skateboard. Literally, he's
Wow.
traveling Europe on his skateboard.
Wow.
I know. And he's figuring out the rest while he goes. But he wants to see parts of the world, he wants to connect with people. And so he's making art and selling it where he is and moves to the next spot. We're beautiful creators that can create the next now in the moment of now and take it one step at a time. Because by the time that I had finished walking 10 stores down to buy a sweatshirt for my daughter and then returned, Mateo was gone. He had closed up shop and he was on to the next stop. So there's freedoms that come with that. There's risk that comes with that.
And a
There's
tremendous
adventure,
amount of trust, right? The
trust.
trust is the art of living your life in love, is having
Yes,
that innate trust in yourself, in the world, and everyone around us.
yes,
Knowing that we can navigate that at any moment in any time.
yes. Meeting so many people that are doing it is so awe inspiring. It's so fun. I'm experiencing just wearing their energy and feeling the adventure that they are living. Makes me feel more adventurous, makes me feel more courageous. Roar! in fact, I bought this most fabulous handbag while here from a Turkish artist that has a lion on it because I was feeling courageous. And it would be in my room had I not had to scurry and rush to get it all tidy and ready to be out of this space as soon as we finish this podcast. The good news is I'm only moving to the other side of the house. So it's just, this has been a really, really remarkable couple weeks of inspiration. Walking the streets of Barcelona, living art on the doorways and on the windows and on the concrete floors, the ground. Art is literally everywhere. And feeling alive in that and feeling the love of all of that creation has just,
Exactly.
yeah, it's it's beyond the beyond. So, one of the things that also occurred to me, and this is a fun little activity, is that journeys into our imagination are really very valuable as well. And I invite
Exactly.
everybody to do an exercise that I did last night before bedtime. I made a paper airplane. I took a piece of paper and I made a paper airplane. And that came to me as an inspiration from being inside one of the restaurants that had copper paper airplanes sculpted on the wall. And I thought, isn't that fun to take a journey into your imagination to plan your next adventure? And I invite each of you to set your adventure of where you want to go. Your jet is ready. You have it in your hand. You have everything that you need. Who will you be going with? Where will you be going? What time of year will it be? What will you pack? What are your expectations when you go? Will you leave some time to stay in the flow of just letting magic unfold? Or will you be booked every second of your vacation with such clear intention of every single thing that you want to do? While here, I've met many different people. Some who are saying one day, I will go do that. Others who are saying, next week, I'm off to France. Some that are saying, I could never see myself doing that. I can't afford that. That's not in my budget. I believe that we are the creators of our reality through our thoughts, inspired actions, beliefs, and our intentions. And I believe that we can be anything and do anything and go anywhere we want to go. I'm literally sitting in Barcelona today after setting the intention to have been here a year ago. I saw myself here and I've laughed and I've joyfully said, the things that I'm saying, I am being. I am living my life in a beautiful art form. And I have a tremendous support system in my life. I have a loving family and a wonderful man, Dan, in my life, who enables so many things to come into being. You can't just take off when you're a mom without a wonderful support system being in place. So I honor and I respect all of that, knowing that the things that I'm doing now will benefit everybody that I love because I am creating our reality to the next highest version of itself.
Every minute of every day.
Yes. And meeting others who are inspiring me to see things in new ways, right? I quite like Mateo's way of setting up a shop. He's no strings attached, right?
Right.
Kind of cool. Kind of cool. And low rent.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Freedom.
even when we make mistakes, right? And when we make mistakes or errors, instead of being stuck in judgment and moving into fear and moving into concern, overwhelm, or the burdens that we've created for ourselves and others, if we take a moment, right, reposition ourselves back into that love space, our true nature, the art of living unfolds.
It does. It so does. At every turn, at every single turn. And if it's not this, it's something else, right? So the funny ring that I wear, I've been sharing as I've been traveling through Europe and teaching people about emerge and see. And when we do this, when we put our hand on our heart, rather than panicking and going into a state of emergency, emergency, and allow it to be peaceful and calming, and the eyes glancing back at me to say, what is it that wants to be seen and emerge? This is a constant game in the life that is lived playfully, artfully, joyfully, in love from the heart center. And
Exactly.
yeah, it's just, it really is. I'm feeling utopia coming so much more into being. Um, what I marvel at is all the different amazing beings that I'm meeting that have been living their life intentionally, following their heart, that are the pieces of this puzzle and this great story. I met Willow, the willow tree. His name is Willow. How about that? And he had developed a technology. I met him at the leadership conference. He has developed a technology that helps people deal with their emotions and getting into the deeper conversations. And that is exactly in the storylines of Utopia. When the children and the beings go to the willow tree with their, the traditional willow is called the weeping willow. In Utopia, in the true form of polarity, it's the weeping willow and the cheering willow. And as as Willow was telling me his technology, I literally was hearing my higher self talking to me about him being that which had come to me in my journals 2.5 years before in the awareness of the arbor of willow trees. And he, with his own free will, decision to engage and say, yes, I would love the opportunity to share my story inside of this story and be the willow tree. It organically unfolded, as did the owl, the teacher in the classroom. She became known to me. She's a woman from Holland that has developed many different technologies and games through her challenges and struggle of growing up as a dyslexic child in Holland. She created solutions through her struggle, and her name is Ashka Teekins. Beautiful technologies. So when people overcome what some may see as an obstacle or a challenge, and they choose to look at it as, why have I been shown this way of being in the world? How can I contribute and create solutions? She chose to create more fun, joyful ways of learning. And now they're in school systems throughout Holland. And they'll be all over and embedded inside of Utopia as she and I continue our conversations and get deeper in relation. It's just incredible how the links come together.
Exactly. All those people that you've met in Barcelona and in Spain and throughout your adventures there in Europe, it really does illustrate how you've experienced the art of living in love with all of these people's experiences, opportunities, and potentials they're bringing forward into living life and love here on planet Earth with all of us.
Yes.
It's so
Yes.
beautiful. I just want to share with you, thank you so much for sharing all of that with us, because it really does really put a different spin on the idea that we can actually choose to live in love through the concept of art, and like living with it, like it on our bodies, in our purses, our apparel, things we use in our lives, but then also the art of choosing to live in conscious choice.
Yes.
Inside
Choosing.
love.
Get your jet plane ready to take off in love. Make that paper airplane and set your intention about where you would like to go celebrate love in the world. It may not be very far away. You may want to just make a paper boat if you'd rather take a sail. You get to be the creator of your reality, right? If it's somewhere that you want to walk outside your front door, create adventure where you are. There's no need to wait. It's magic. I do what I'm doing, living this way, at home in a bank line. But the reality is, I was at a conscious leadership conference where I was in a target rich environment with a lot of pieces of utopia being present. And that was the catalyst for just me coming into this space fully charged, fully amped, really excited with all of the different expressions of ways of living and connecting with so many people in this very artsy city. Artists are just attracted to Barcelona because of the architecture and the design and all the elements of fashion that dwell here. So it's unprecedented. I've not been in a city quite like this ever before, and I've been in it 26 years ago, and it has not let me down at all this time. I'm I head back to Texas on Saturday, transformed to the next highest version of myself. And I can hardly wait to see how it all comes out and plays in my art. The next few pieces of artwork with this Barcelona energy and all the different beings that have been a part of my journey, being a part of that, playing out, will be very, very fun. I'll be happy to share with you too, Ashley, so we can post them on Conscious Kids, because I just know they're going to be spectacular.
It really is, and
Everybody.
you brought up the very valuable point of when we choose to experience the art of living through love or in love in every moment. It transforms us moment to moment to moment. It builds us. It expands us. We experience potentials we've never thought were possible. And you are that living example of that today.
I'm having so much fun, and I'm reaching for my little buddy Blaze, who embodies that. He is the happy peeper that lives with his heart on fire.
Yes, he does.
Blaze.
And
he's been traveling everywhere with me, and we've been photographing, and he'll be showing up in the artwork too. It's really a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kate the heARTist, for joining us today and sharing the art of living in love. It truly is a wonderful concept to embody every moment and every day for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be with you. I invite everybody to match me living their inspired life, not being me, being you, in the best you that you can be. This is my freedom flame, my paintbrush. What is your freedom flame? What is it that you do that sets your heart on fire and free? Do more of it. Love you.
Thank you all for listening to this podcast. We are so grateful for you tuning in and experiencing the innovations and opportunities we all can incorporate into our daily lives. Connect with us at centerforconsciouskids.com to sign up for the latest news that showcases these revolutionary services and products. Our global website provides families with an online conduit for enrichment and transformation in all our lives. Please share with other kids and families who would enjoy these advancements in living consciously. I'm Ashley Lee, and I thank you so much for joining us.